You're listening to Stream, the podcast that tells you what streaming on platform for subscription, rent, or buy. I want to talk about movies coming out the week of April the 30th. All these are coming out in theaters on April 30th, and we'll start off with The Virtuoso. 18% on Tomato Meter, 35% on audience score. Danger, deception, and murder descend upon a sleepy country town when a professional assassin accepts a new assignment from his enigmatic mentor and boss. Given only where and when along with a cryptic clue, the methodical hitman must identify his mysterious mark from among several possible targets, including a local sheriff. Meanwhile, a chance encounter with an alluring woman at the town's rustic diner threatens to derail his mission in this noir-style cloak and dagger thriller. It is rated R for language, violence, sexuality, and nudity. It's a mystery, thriller, crime, and action. It is directed by Nick Stagliano. Produced by Nick Stagliano. Written by James C. Wolfe. It's also streaming. It's 1 hour and 50 minutes long by Pelican Films and Naz Productions. Some of the cast and crew: David Morse as the deputy, Richard Brake as Handsome Johnny, Eddie Marsan as the loner, Anthony Hopkins as the mentor, Abby Cornish as the waitress, and Anson Mount as the virtuoso. Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. 46% on Tomato Meter, 40% on the audience score. An elite Navy SEAL uncovers an international conspiracy while seeking out justice for the murder of his pregnant wife in Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. The explosive origin story of action hero John Clark, one of the most popular characters in author Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan universe, when a squad of Russian soldiers kills his family in retaliation for his role in a top-secret op. Senior Chief John Kelly pursues the assassins at all costs. Joining forces with a fellow SEAL and a shadowy CIA agent, Kelly's mission unwittingly exposes a covert plot that threatens to engulf the U.S. and Russia in an all-out war. Torn between personal honor and loyalty to his country, Kelly must fight his enemies without remorse if he hopes to avert disaster and reveal the powerful figures behind the conspiracy. It's rated R for violence. It's a mystery and thriller action. Directed by Stefano Sollima. Produced by Akiva Goldsman, Joseph Balboum, Andre Nimak, and Michael B. Jordan. Written by Taylor Sheridan and Will Staples. And this one is streaming on Prime Video. Piercy vs. Goliath. This is a 76% on Tomato Meter with an 85% audience score. This movie is a true story of a small-town farmer taking on one of the largest agricultural and food manufacturing corporations. Piercy Schmeiser, a third-generation farmer, is sued by a corporate giant for allegedly using their patent seeds. With little resources to fight the giant legal battle, Piercy joins forces with up-and-coming attorney Jackson Weaver and environmental activist Rebecca Salkow to fight one of the most monumental cases all the way up to the Supreme Court. Alright, it's rated PG-13 for some thematic elements. It is a drama biography. Directed by Clark Johnson. Produced by Daniel Beckerman, Ian Dimerman, Ethan Lazar, Garfield Lindsay Miller, Hilary Pryor, Brendan Sawatsky. Written by Garfield Lindsay Miller and Hilary Pryor. It's also in theaters, limited. It's 1 hour and 40 minutes long by Cynthia Films, May Street Productions, and Inferno Pictures. And this one is for rent or buy on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft, Redbox, and DirecTV. About Endlessness. 94% on Tomato Meter with a 62% audience score. This movie is a reflection on human life in all its beauty and cruelty, its splendor and banality. We wonder, dreamlike, gentle, guided by our Scheherazade-esque narrator. Its inconsequential moments take on the same significance as historical events. A couple floats over a war-torn Cologne on the way to a birthday party. A father stops to tie his daughter's shoelaces in the pouring rain. Teenage girls dance outside a cafe. A defeated army marches to a prisoner of war camp. Simultaneously an ode and a lament. This movie presents a kaleidoscope of all that is eternally human and an infinite story of vulnerability of existence. It's a drama directed by Roy Anderson, produced by Johan Carlson, Pernilla Sandstrom, written by Roy Anderson. It's also in theaters limited. It's 1 hour 16 minutes long. Some of the cast and crew: Bengt Burgess as psychiatrist, Janej Ferling as Man in the Stairs, Anders Hellstrom is in it, Tatiana Delaney as Flying Woman, Jessica Lathander is also in it, and then Martin Cerner as the priest. It is for rent on DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, and Microsoft. Alright, now The Outside Story. 94% on Tomato Meter, 79% on audience score. Charles Young is a broken-hearted video editor. Perceiving a betrayal of trust as a sign of that his girlfriend Aisha is leaving him, Charles preemptively blows up his relationship and sequesters himself at home. The fates do not comply, and Charles locks himself out of his apartment. Stumbling into a transformational, timely odyssey exploring his community, Charles meets a dynamic ensemble of previously avoided neighbors who show him everyone's got issues and it never helps to keep them all locked up. It's a drama directed by Casimir Noskowski, produced by Frank Hall Green, Brian Newman, and Joseph Stevens, written by Casimir Noskowski. It's also in theaters limited. It's 1 hour and 25 minutes long by Green Machine Film and Subgenre Film. Some of the cast and crew: Rebecca Naomi Jones as Amy, Asia Kate Dillon as Inez, Olivia Edward as Alina, Sunita Mani as Slater, Sonequa Martin Green as Aisha, and Brian Tyree Henry as Charles Young. And this one, it's for rent on DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Fandango Now, Vudu, and Redbox. Or you could also buy it on Microsoft Store, Google Play, and YouTube. The Mitchells versus the Machines. 98% on Tomato Meter, 89% on audience score. Young Katie Mitchell embarks on a road trip with her proud parents, younger brother, and beloved dog to start her first year at film school. But their plans to bond as a family soon get interrupted when the world's electronic devices come to life to stage an uprising. With help from two friendly robots, the Mitchells must now come together to save one another and the planet from the new technological revolution. It is rated PG for action and some language. It's a kids and family comedy, adventure, animation, action, sci-fi. Directed by Michael Rianda. Produced by Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and Kurt Albrecht. Written by Michael Rianda and Jeff Rowe. This came out in theaters limited on the 23rd. It's 1 hour and 54 minutes long, by Columbia Pictures, Lord Miller, and Sony Pictures Animation. Some of the cast and crew: Olivia Colman is the voice of Pal. Eric Andre is the voice of Mark Bowman. Michael Rianda as the voice of Aaron Mitchell. Maya Rudolph as the voice of Linda Mitchell. Danny McBride is the voice of Rick Mitchell. And Abby Jacobson is the voice of Katie Mitchell. And this one is streaming on Netflix. Golden Arm. 100% on Tomato Meter, 89% on audience score. When her best friend Danny ropes her into taking her spot at the Women's Arm Wrestling Championship, nice girl Baker Melody must trade Whisk for barbells as she trains to face off with the reigning champ for a chance at newfound badassery and the grand prize. It's a comedy directed by Maureen Barucha, produced by Geeta Bajaj, written by Anne-Marie Allison and Jenna Milley. Just came out in theaters, also limited. It's 1 hour and 31 minutes long, by Golden Arm, The Ranch Productions, and Number 8 Films. Some of the cast and crew: Dawn Lube as Tessie, Dot Marie Jones as Big Sexy, Eugene Cordero as Greg, Olivia Stambolia as Brenda, Betsy Sodero as Danny, and Mary Holland as Melody. And this one, you can rent it on Vudu, or you can rent or buy it on Google Play, YouTube, Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Fandango Now, Microsoft, and Redbox. Right, that's it. That's everything that's coming out streaming the week of April 30th. Have fun watching the movies. This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.